Rather than lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. We are just 44 minutes away from kickoff. Arsenal take on Manchester United. Confirmed team news. All the teams are out. All the lineups are out. And definitely, you guys, we're going to be diving into our starting lineup. We're going to be looking at who started. And actually, Mikel Arteta with an interesting, brave lineup. Almost a cut and copy of what started, of what we used against Newcastle there, and almost really what we started against Liverpool. But what is interesting is that he has dropped out Sam Lokonga. For me, the best player in the midfield for Arsenal against Newcastle. He's dropped Lokonga. He's actually played Thomas Partey and Mohamed El Neni. The same midfield that played against Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium last season when we won the game 1-0, right? No, I think it was at the Old Trafford, 1-0. And again, is actually bringing back El Neni, who's getting his almost I think his first start, probably second start for the season. I don't know what he's looking at, but anyway, that's it, guys. I need your predictions in this game. What do you think is gonna be? What do you think is gonna be the result of the game? My prediction, I'm going to go for Manchester United 1, Arsenal 2. That is my prediction. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. A very, very tight game, depending on the lineups. But I think Arsenal do still have a chance to edge this game. Right, so let's get to the lineups and see who starts and actually who doesn't start for either side, because really, really interesting. When you look at the starting lineups, you need your predictions there. Ramsdale is in goal for Arsenal. Nuno Tavares again ahead of Kieran Tierney. Really interesting stuff. Really, really interesting. I didn't expect this. So Tavares starts ahead of Tavares. Then Gabriel Magalhaes and Ben White at centre back. Obviously, Takehiro Tomiyasu at right back. Gabriel Martinelli starts ahead of Bukayo Saka, who actually did train today with the side, and we talked about that. Thomas Partey, Mohamed El Neni, one player that's not been an Arsenal regular. Then Emile Smith-Rowe obviously had to start in this game. Martin Odegaard and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang, for me, is the only player in this game that doesn't deserve to start, in the starting lineup. United, on the other side, they've gone with David De Gea in goal. They've gone with Diego Dalot. That means they won't be having Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Alex Telles, that means there is an absence of Luke Shaw at left back. McTominay and Fred will be in the midfield. Centre-back partnership, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro. So that is how they've started. Look, it's going to be interesting to see what actually comes out of this game. Really, really interesting, because for me, what is even more interesting about this game is the fact that Mikel Arteta has decided to go for such a lineup. The midfield there, look, let's talk about our midfield, just for a second. Let's talk about our midfield for a second, just for a second, because again, I do not understand why he has played Mohamed El Neni, in this game. Really, I need your thoughts. I need your suggestions. I need to know what you think in the comment box. Give me your predictions as well. Andre says United must win. Delembe says, come on, you Gunners. Kenneth says 1-1. It's going to be a draw. And then Raymond says Arsenal win. Raymond says it's going to be 3-1 in terms of in favor of Arsenal. And Watson says it's Arsenal 1 and United. No, look, I think this is a game, and I'm going to say this is a game that can go either way. It's all about what you put on the table. One thing I've seen with the Manchester United lineup is they've gone so brave. They played their regular lineup. They don't have Paul Pogba. I bet if they had Pogba, he would be starting in this game. They played McTominay and Fred, who are regular. They have dropped Matic, and they have also dropped Donny van der Beek in this case. They have also dropped Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and they have gone for Diego Dalot. Really interesting stuff. Really, really, really interesting stuff for United. But one thing I'm gonna give credit for Manchester United and Carrick is they've gone brave. They've actually gone brave. It's like they have come to play their own style. They're not playing in terms of how Arsenal. They're not reactionary. They're not actually being reactionary of how Arsenal will play. What they've done is they're saying we are doing our thing. You know, Arsenal are coming at the Old Trafford. We are doing our thing. Let them come on. What Mikel Arteta has done is just like against Liverpool. He has also gone for almost a very, very similar lineup for the past 5 games. The only two changes like I can see, Mohamed El Neni is a change there against in for Abasam Lekonga. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then Martin Odegaard as well. Of course, Odegaard has started the last 3 games. Liverpool, then Newcastle, and now now Manchester United. But then Gabriel Martinelli starts there ahead of the big man Bukayo Saka. So maybe there is gonna be a big impact from Gabriel Martinelli. Not because he's not starting ahead of Saka because of form or anything, but I think he deserves the start, and also the fact that Saka is not fit enough to play in this game or to start in this game already shows you that Martinelli has to start. So give me your predictions, give me your thoughts about this game. I'd love to get your thoughts there very, very well. Weekend and Keta says Arsenal are scared of Arsenal. I'm scared of Mohamed El Neni. Godfrey says Arsenal will win, bro. Today, Watson says Arsenal 1-0. There, Gaddafi says Arsenal 3-0. Florence says good night, and good vibes. Die DM says Arsenal 1-0. Florence says zone for you to be, and then Andre Rollins says 4-1 to United. Look, I'm gonna say this about this game. It's gonna be really interesting. Absolutely, very, very interesting. One is, I think these are two teams on the same level. Arsenal know that they're playing a Manchester United side that have actually not been in good form for 3 consecutive footballing months. That much we know. They've been awful. They've been a disgrace. They've been absolute, they've been in absolute mayhem. So I don't expect Arsenal to come and lose this game 3-1. Like 4-1. I don't expect such results. Again, at United, I don't expect them to lose. Of course, they've lost with those kind of margins to clubs that are not worthy, like Watford, with all due respect to Watford. But I still feel like they shouldn't be losing 4-1 to Arsenal in such a fixture, because it's like these are two teams on the same level. We are almost at the same level in terms of quality. United could be like, they are better than us in terms of quality, but they also know that it goes beyond quality. It goes beyond quality. It extends to things like organization, form, how you've been performing, the spirits of the team, and things like that. If you look at this Arsenal side, it's a way better organized unit than Manchester United are this season, despite the fact that they have a lot of quality and talent, and they've spent a lot of money and time building that squad. Because if you look at them, their squad almost is is a collection of players that have been built across a period of time. David De Gea, almost is it a decade and a half at the side? Then the newbies, the likes of Harry Maguire and Lindelof, kind of newbies. But then you have the likes of Diogo Dalot, who are not also very, very new. Telles is a newbie, but in the midfield, McTominay and Fred, they've been there for some time, at least longer than any other, longer than Partey and Lokonga and the likes of Odegaard in the midfield. Then Bruno Fernandes could be a newbie. You could call him a newbie, but then you have the likes of Ronaldo. So their squad it has a lot of mixture in there. And I think that's one of the things that are actually going to make them different because their squad has a lot to offer. Now, our squad is a unit. And that is the beauty with us again, that we are not going to lay down for United to smash us, because we know we've not lost the game against United in the Premier League in the last 6 games. Last 6 games, no loss to Manchester United in the Premier League. It doesn't change for me. It has to continue. We should make it 7. Yes, we are at the Old Trafford. It's a very, very difficult stadium. It's a very, very difficult game. But maybe a point, maybe 2, maybe 3 points. Look, you can never get 2 points out of a game. But the worst for me, Arsenal should go there. It's a point. It's a point. right? It's a point. So let's get to the midfield, guys, and give me your thoughts on Mohamed El Neni starting ahead of Albert Lokonga. Now, I don't understand this because Lokonga against Liverpool had an awful game, just like many other players. But again, against Newcastle, he was our best midfielder. Now, what is surprising is that Partey had a very, very poor game against Newcastle, and then Partey starts ahead of Lokonga and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Of course, I would expect Thomas Partey to start, despite the fact that he had a bad game against Newcastle. But for me, Lokonga being dropped against United, I'm not really comfortable with it. I mean, I've spoken so many words, but that is what I wanted to say. I'm not comfortable with Albert Lokonga being dropped for this game. One or two reasons I'm gonna give. Look, I think he is pretty solid, very, very solid, and he is a very, very hard worker. Now, I don't know whether Mikel Arteta thinks that Lokonga is not ready for such kind of games, Manchester United, Liverpool. Because for me, Liverpool in the first half was a little bit okay, but then in the second half, he was absolutely outrageously awful. But I feel like Lokonga would have added something to this game in terms of winning the ball faster and then progressing it at a very, very fast rate. Unless Mikel is telling us that his plan all around is going to be, is going to be, governing this game and controlling the game and things like that. I mean, maybe that is his plan. I don't know. I would still take a lot of comments from the comment section and see. But for me, Lokonga should be starting in this game. And of course, that's not the reason for us to lose a game or not get a point or things like that. No. I feel like even whether Mohamed El Neni is there, we have already built a structure and we can win this game, right? Flat. We can actually win it flat. But again, my point is, why not play Albert Lokonga, best midfielder against Newcastle, give him that game, right? And then the other thing is Nuno Tavares. He has started ahead of Kian Tierney in another big game. Now, Tavares really had a huge mistake committed against Liverpool, and I know many people out there will come out and call him out and do like this, and I refuse to do that. I felt like he was really not good, but the whole team was frozen, and that's what Liverpool do. They freeze you. We were frozen. It's more like it's more like that kind of state where you're helpless, because Liverpool make you feel helpless. Liverpool make you feel like you absolutely nothing in a game. And I think that's what they did, in that game. They froze us out, and whenever we picked up the ball, we lost it halfway the pitch. So players like Nuno, players like Lokonga, who had very, very poor games, I feel like that could be the excuse, really. Now, against Manchester United, if Nuno Tavares has a bad game, a very, very poor game, there is no excuse, because I feel like, again, he's got to be our outlet. He's got to be that kind of outlet that Arsenal need in this game, and I think he can actually provide that. Andrew says, bro, El Neni is on form ahead of Sambi Lokonga. I mean, you can't tell me a player is on form ahead of I mean, you can't tell me El Neni is on form ahead of Albert Lokonga, and El Neni has not been playing football regularly. I mean, it's how would you judge the form? It really doesn't make any sense for me. Ahmed says, why is El Neni in this match? Sam is far better than El Neni. Look, for me, it might not be who's better or who's talented and things like that. I just feel like Lokonga's been really that consistent. Apart from the Liverpool game, he's been that consistent, both in being picked for the squad, for the starting lineup, and as well as putting in the hard work and effort. I feel like he would make a difference against Scott McTominay and Fred. He would make a difference, because for me, Fred winning the ball back, yes, he could do that. McTominay is an awful midfielder, right? Very, very awful midfielder. So I feel like Lokonga would have been able to pick the ball up and then Partey boss the midfield. Of course, we're going to need Partey to boss the midfield, as absolutely as far as we can. But anyway, that is the manager's pick. Heiko C, I think 2-1 in favor of Arsenal. That's according to Faustin. And then Rich says Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1 as well. Thank you. Glenn says we should provide with the link. All right. All right, absolutely fine. If you want the link, Glenn. And then Andrew says Elneny knows Manchester United style, bro, ahead of Sambi Lokonga. What is the Manchester United style? I mean, if I asked you that question, you would struggle, wouldn't you? What is the Manchester United style? United have been absolutely struggling to find something that they call a style, like something that they call a style. They've been so struggling. Maybe Ateta goes for Lenny because of experience. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason. I mean, look, I can't say he's wrong, and I can't really say unless Muhammad El has a very, very poor game, I will blame Mikel Arteta. But if he doesn't have a very poor game, I don't feel like it's a change that destabilizes the whole system. It's just two changes. Gabriel starting ahead of Saka. Of course, we know what Gabriel can offer, to the team, and then we also know the fact that Elneny is a very, very good midfielder. We've seen him, play against United, and then I mean they bust Manchester United in the midfield. So overall, I think we can win the midfield battle. Elneny and Partey with Odegaard. I'm really happy that he's played Martin Odegaard, and I'm gonna give you my reasons. I hope they are really valid. I'm really gonna give you my reasons why I'm really happy with that midfield. So let's look at the midfield, right? Let's look at the midfield, and let's compare the two midfields. Fred, McTominay, Partey, and Mohamed Elneny, we're coming on top. We absolutely coming on top there. I feel like yes, United, they are United. They're at home, but in terms of quality, I think Partey is better than Fred, and Mohamed Elneny is somehow ahead of Scott McTominay. I think the difference in this game could be players like Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo. You can, if you're watching on your screen, you can see their rating. Ronaldo with a 7.03 rating, and then Bruno Fernandes with a 7.29 rating. And then you can see that almost all our forwards are not actually having good ratings. And the reason there, Martinelli hasn't been starting games. Partey, for me, this season is clicking, is getting the momentum, the rhythm, but again, not yet there. Mohamed Elneny obviously hasn't been playing football. You can see Emil Smith Rowe with a very, very good rating, and then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is absolute. I mean, he could score today. I don't know. He could score, and I'm telling you, if he scores, I'm gonna praise his name. But for me, he needs to take a break, think about his life before he spoils the party. So I think we win the midfield battle because again, players like Bruno Fernandes do not work well if the team is not really in possession. Martin Odegaard, if we are pressed, I think Odegaard can actually help us find the outlets, just like Gabriel Martinelli and Emil Smith Rowe. But although I feel like we are gonna miss Saka a lot, we are really, really going to miss Bukayo Saka in this game very, very much because he's that kind of outlet. And it would be very interesting. I mean, I love Gabriel Martinelli. Everybody knows this on this channel, but it would be very interesting if Saka was going ahead of Telles. Right, I mean, if Saka was taking on Telles, and then Nuno Tavares taking on Diego Dalot. Actually, many people might not understand this, but for me, Diogo Dalot is a very, very solid player. And I think the reasons why they played him is, for me, truly, we've got to say this, Bissaka has been in very, very poor form. So if you look at the players on the bench, let's look at the players on the bench for either side. Eric Bailey is on the bench. I don't know why he's on the bench today. Phil Jones, I don't know how he makes it to the bench. Jesse Lingard, Donny van de Beek, dangerous there. Mason Greenwood, really dangerous. Juan Mata and Anthony Martial. They really have a very, very good bench. They have some game changers on the bench. Manchester United, Donny van de Beek is a game changer. Greenwood comes on, is a very, very good game changer. Anthony Martial could be a very good game changer as well. And then Jesse Lingard, another game changer. But again, for us now, because that is what we have to focus on this channel, is we have some extra layer of fat. We have some extra layer of quality on our bench today. I mean, look, Lokonga is on the bench. For issues of game management, you can bring on Lokonga or Ainsley Maitland-Niles. If you want to change the game, Lacazette or Nicola Pepe, you can bring them and impact the game. Nicola Pepe, Bukayo Saka, Lacazette, and Pepe, just to change the game. And of course, Rob Holding, if you just feel like you need an extra defender, you could bring on Rob Holding, and of course, an extra striker could be, Eddie Nketiah. So it looks good, honestly. It really, really looks good. It's one where you could just go. Arsenal could get a point in this one. Arsenal could get 3 points in this one. But anyway, I need more of your predictions, and I need to know what you think about this game. Now, if you look at the insights as we come into this game, number one, Manchester United are winless in their last 6 Premier League meetings with Arsenal. They have gone 7 Premier League games without a win against the Gunners before. So it's not new. It's not new. And if you look at United in the post-Ferguson era, they've been really struggling against Arsenal. They've been really, really struggling. They've not beaten us under Mikel Arteta. That much we know. It's 6 games in the Premier League. They have not beaten us. We last suffered a loss against them in 2019, January. It was the FA Cup. So you can see, it's a long time, right? And that shows you how the relations between these two teams is actually changing. Because again, against Ferguson, it was a very, very different kind of story. It was we never stood a chance. That's the truth. We never stood a chance. Always, didn't stand a chance. But anyway, Glenn is here. How you doing, bro?
Hi, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine as well.
I'm scared, man. I don't like this game. This is the worst game for me. Like Manchester United away, I do not like it. This, this is a game we cannot afford to lose. If you lose this game, you cannot go to work tomorrow. You cannot go to school tomorrow. You cannot get on Twitter. You cannot get on Facebook. You cannot get on Instagram. Not on TikTok these days. You cannot afford to lose to Manchester United, especially not a Manchester United that, as you've said, I think they've only won like 2 games in like 8 or 9 or something crazy like that. So
they are struggling. They're really, really struggling.
Yeah, and they are conceding a lot of goals. And we have to take advantage. If we finish this game today with 0 goals, I'd be very frustrated. Because this is a team that have conceded goals. They conceded 4 to Watford, 4 to Leicester, 2 to Atalanta at home, 2 to Atalanta away. They conceded 2 to Villarreal at Old Trafford. Obviously 5 to Liverpool, another 2 to City. They are conceding a lot of goals. And obviously, yes, we are not Chelsea, yes, we are not Liverpool, so that could be an advantage for us because they're not going to park the bus. They really parked the bus the other day, so they're going to come to us. United and their fans, they do expect to beat Arsenal. I've had them from the tone which they had when they played against Chelsea. They're like, oh no, we cannot beat Chelsea. Right now, they're saying Arsenal. It's just Arsenal. We should be beating Arsenal. So I do like that. I want them to come to the game confident. I want them to attack, to leave those spaces behind so that you can take advantage of that. Martinelli space. I'm very surprised at that lineup. Last season, we went to Old Trafford. Bellerin started that game last season. He's no longer here. Leno started that game last season. He's no longer here. Willian started that game last season. He's no longer here. They are Holding started that game last season. Is no longer here. So our team has really changed from last season. We did beat them. We did beat them with that team. Surely we have to try and. I'm not going to predict a win today. Obviously, we'll do that at the end. But I'm actually going to be happy with that draw because it's still United away. I'm not looking at it like United lost to Watford and Leicester. I'm still looking at it like it's still Ronaldo. He haunted us the late 2000s. We had a hard time defending Ronaldo and Rooney. So it's still the same Ronaldo that we used to scare us. It's still the same Fernandes who's been great for Manchester United since he came on, but their defense is very weak, especially now without Wan-Bissaka. I know you said he's not been on good form, but he's very good at tackling. But Dallo is good at tackling.
One-on-ones. He's so good at one-on-ones, and I think that's the reason as to why they will miss him today.
Yeah, they will definitely miss him. So Dallo, Telles, I'm not sure what to expect from them. We've not seen them play a lot of times, kind of like you've seen Jones and Mata on the bench. They don't even have a rating. That's how bad they are because they've never really played. Like Harry, that back 5, the whole back 6, not even back 4, plus McTominay and Fred. We have to take advantage of that. Seriously have to take advantage of that. Aubameyang, Aubameyang's space will be good, Martinelli's space will be good, but what does he do after getting past those defenders? He has to score today. Because he supports Aubameyang, I still support Aubameyang. I know there's 70% of you watching this who didn't want Aubameyang to start. Because he also didn't want Aubameyang to start, he put Lacazette in his team. But now, since he started, we really need him. We really need him to score those chances. You don't get a lot of chances at Old Trafford. Maybe it's a different Man U. You'll get a few, but any chance that comes your way, take it. Especially early in the game, to take a lead in this game it gives you a big advantage, because if they score fast, then you start wondering, like,
Yeah,
if we
we
go
will struggle. We
attacking,
struggle.
yeah.
Yeah, we struggle. And I think, look, what I've loved about this game, it's gonna be a very very open game, unless otherwise. Because if we concede fast, I feel like United will try to play a low block. If they concede fast, then I mean, if they concede, they'll play low block. If we concede, if we score fast, then we'll try to try to soak up the pressure. But it's a very very open game. They're it's their usual lineup. They've just gone. Let's play our thing. We are playing Arsenal at the Old Trafford. They're coming on. Let's play our thing. And if you look at what Mikel Arteta has done, he's not preparing for a big match that United, Ronaldo, or anything. He's actually gone for his lineup. I mean, with a little bit of a surprise with Mohamed El Neni. I didn't expect that, and that should be the talking point first. Hello, okay. Why on earth does he drop Albert Samuel Lokonga? Why do you think? Because I don't
I
get it.
mean,
He was our best midfield against Newcastle.
he was maybe because of last season. El Neni played very well next to Partey in this fixture, and we got the win. I also kind of don't understand, because to go for El Neni and Partey, both energetic and both like physical, and that McTominay and Fred, maybe they're a bit physical in midfield. They'll foul you, they'll get into you, maybe that, but they're not as skillful that you need two holding midfielders. So maybe that can allow Partey to go forward. Maybe that can allow Partey to push forward, because Partey can pick out a pass. These days he's trying with his shooting. It's not going outside the stadium. Now it's going to the fans area. It's not going outside the stadium. So his shots are improving. El Neni is a surprise, but he can help us in terms of defensive. That's why I think he's thought about United. I know you said that he's not thought about United, but I think with El Neni he's kind of thought about United. Let's try and protect the back four. Let's try and hope Fernandes doesn't get any chances. Let's put El Neni on Fernandes, because we don't like Fernandes, but he's a very good player. He can pass,
Yeah, he
he
is.
can shoot, he can score.
He's one of, for me, one of the world class midfielders in the Premier League.
Yeah, if you check all those goals Ronaldo has scored in the Champions League, I think he's assisted like 80% of them. Fernandes, like those passes are to Ronaldo with left foot, right foot, headers, whatever. Fernandes is very good to pick out passes. So I guess you're just putting El Neni there like to just mark him. There's a time like 6 years ago, and I think it was Mourinho who was at United, and Hazard was at Chelsea, and Herrera marked Hazard for the whole game, and he cut him off. So maybe it's trying that with El Neni on Fernandes today. Just try and mark Fernandes out of the game and hope Gabriel and Ben White manage to deal with Ronaldo. Listen, Ronaldo will get chances. You cannot keep him quiet for 90 minutes. He'll get chances. So that's where we are hoping Ramsdale can help us. But El Neni, I don't know. It's surprising. I said surprising because I didn't expect Saka to make the team. I thought he was not going to do that at all. So having that bench power, Martinelli to start. When was the last time Martinelli started a game? I cannot remember. Apart from Carabao Cup, I cannot remember the last time he started a league game. Big game.
But again, I said this in the video I did earlier, that I would start Martinelli all day long over Nicola Pepe. I would do that. Probably give him a chance. Reward him for the Newcastle performance, because he really, really deserves a reward. But also, let's talk about Tierney and Nuno Tavares. It's more than rewards to Nuno. It's becoming Ramsdale Leno. I mean, it's turning into that situation. Do you just feel like Tierney has fallen behind Nuno Tavares in pecking order now?
No, I think the experience is still there. I guess because of his recent injuries as well, and then he went to Scotland and played those 2 games. We've always said last season we were screaming for a backup left back. Let's get a backup left back to help when Tierney is injured. And also I did hear some people saying, let's not only get a backup left back, someone to play 2 games. Let's get someone who's going to give him competition, someone is actually a good player, someone who can give him competition. I do not mind that at all. We have so many games in December. Obviously, United is the game that you want Tierney to play, but you have so many games in December. So if we really trust Tavares and if he can do the job, he's been trusted to do the job. If he can do the job once again, then we have a good player there. Then we don't even have to worry that much. Like if Tierney gets injured, what do we do? It's good to test him. It's good to test him in such games.
Yeah,
Not to go to do experiments away to United because he wanted to have a sure team, but I guess it's not an experiment. He's played for us for like 5-6 consecutive games, and we've seen what he can do. Is the way he pushes forward is incredible. Maybe the only thing he shouldn't do today, please don't take 6-7 shots outside the box. He was really frustrating me that last week. Like 2 shots is enough, but if they all go over the bar, try and pick out a pass because the second half we picked out that good pass to Saka. So I'm surprised. I thought Tini was going to start since the last big game. Tavares didn't play well,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's quite surprising for me. But if he can play well again, then we're in good hands for the next games. There are still big games coming up. Everton away, West Ham this month. Games are still hard.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like he's playing Nuno Tavares, because I don't know if I'm right, but I feel like he's playing Nuno because to compensate for Tomiyasu's lack of going forward. I mean, I just feel like that because again, you can't have two fullbacks that are known. Either one has to be very very lethal, like you see, Nuno, and then Tomiyasu being that defensive side. Expected with United. Dalot will be the player that sits back, and then Teles will be flying, will be going forward, and then look, Martinelli. You think because for me Saka is Salah for Arsenal. That's the truth. He better be there. That's the only word you want to use. He better be there. He better be fit. So he's not fit. Martinelli starts. You predict a good game for him, probably. I mean, he's not as so good as Saka when it comes to taking on players, especially one-on-one and crossing and things like that. But again, he's more of that kind of striker that wants to get into those dangerous positions and finish off the chances he gets. And we saw that against Newcastle. Right area, right time. Good, cool finish. Yeah, very, very cool finish. So, what do you reckon, Martinelli there?
I mean, he has pace. United do not have
He's got
pace
it.
there with Maguire and Lindelof. I can already see the picture where Martinelli will run past Maguire and he'll push his shot back, and it's going to be red card Maguire. That's not a good thing for us because we want Maguire on the pitch. We don't want him to go off. We want him to make mistakes on the pitch. But that pace from Martinelli and Aubameyang will be important because Lindelof, Maguire are very slow. And also, it's like a second striker. So if Smith Rowe, or as you've said, we are going to be using the left side to attack. If Tavares and Smith Rowe on that side, if you put in the cross, then if it gets past Aubameyang, there's still Martinelli behind him because Martinelli is a more natural finisher in terms of being a striker. Saka is not a striker. Martinelli is a striker. Saka can't really come and head the ball in front of a defender. He can't do that. But Martinelli can do that. We saw it 2 seasons ago, his passes on at Arsenal. So I'm happy for him to start. He's not started in a while, so this is a big game for him. Also, if he doesn't play that well, I don't want to hear because always with Arsenal, there's some people who don't want Martinelli to start. So if he doesn't play well, they'll be like, "We told you guys, you'll be crying about Martinelli starting. He shouldn't be starting. This is why I preferred Pepe. Don't want that." But I think he'll do well. But the chances you're going to get, you have to take them. Yes, they have the pace, but what does Aubameyang do after he gets past the defenders, and what does Martinelli do as well? But I'm very confident that defense in our front four. Odegaard as well is very interesting that he started. Did not expect him to start. Thought Lacazette was going to be there. But big game for Martinelli, especially on the right wing. Will he be needed to defend because Rashford is on that wing? Luckily, Shaw is not there because if Shaw was there, then you'll need Martinelli to defend. But I think Tomiyasu can deal with Rashford.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, I mean, that said, I don't see any. I don't see really any, big fuss, anything to cause a big fuss, with the lineup. United. Let's just talk about United for a minute. I mean, it's absolutely unfair that we don't talk about them. They're at home and they're big. They're a big club, probably the biggest club in the UK. I mean, they have all those Premier League titles and league titles and Champions League titles. But let me ask you, if you look at United, do you think they are back? No loss in their last 2 games, a point against Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. Does that motivate them in any way? Does that scare you in any way? Or you just feel like they played fantastic football because it was Chelsea?
No, they did not play well in both of those games. They took their chances. They got a couple of chances and took them in that game. If Villarreal that first half, if they were serious, they would have got a couple of goals.
Yeah.
Surely
But
Chelsea had like 15 corners. United had one.
they
Like
had
this.
15 corners. But what I'm talking about the Chelsea game is the character, the character
Mm.
they showed. Because again, when you're in a transition, it's one of the things you need to, you need to get fast. Character, like. Can you hold on to a 1-0 lead? Can you hold on to a 1-1? Can you hold on to like 2-0? You're 2-0 down. Can you do damage limitation and things like that? That's what I'm talking about in that area.
Even United
Mm.
will always be a good team. Even I said, even if they lost 20 games in a row and we won 20 games in a row, and the 21st game was Man U against Arsenal, I'll still be like, no, you need to watch Ronaldo, you need to watch Sancho.
Yeah, absolutely.
He might become the Sancho from Dortmund in this game.
Yeah.
Rashford scored against us. I think he was like 14 years of age on his debut that time. Like he scored against us. So you also need to watch out for those players. Bruno Fernandes has never scored against us, but you need to watch out for them. But I'm really focusing on their defense. We used to go to Old Trafford when they had Evra, Vidic, and you're like, we're not going to score. This time around, if we don't score in this game, maybe even 2 goals. I can't tell you the last time we scored. I think we've only scored 2 goals at Old Trafford, maybe twice in Premier League history. We rarely score even more than 1. That's how bad it is. So if you can get 2 goals in this game, I think 2 goals would be enough to get a result, maybe a draw or a win. But I think 1 goal will not be enough. I can't see a 1-1. I can see at least 3 goals in this game. But I'm happy that bench, as you pointed out, just to go back to Arsenal again, Saka. I think Pepe does. At least Pepe, having a name like Pepe is okay on the bench. Yes, we know he's not that great, but having a name like that on the bench is good. Lacazette. Who else is there on the bench? Like our bench is okay. Our bench is okay. Last season, our bench at Old Trafford, we had Ranason, we had Nketiah, we had Mustafi, we had Cedric, we had Xhaka, we had Ceballos. Those are the players we had on the bench. Looking at that bench, who would you bring in? Mustafi, Nketiah, Niles, Xhaka? No one. But this time around, you can look at our bench positively.
Yeah.
Tierney as well.
I think I was watching James Harcourt and was saying that the massive credit you give to Arsenal, and I think all of us skip this, is the fact that Mikel and Edward have just been able to clear out the squad, with a lot of with a lot of focus on the deadwood and and the old players and things like that, and players that actually were adding nothing to the squad, just being there in the squad, around the squad. I think it's true because if you look at the squad at the moment, the players that are starting, they're literally under 23, and the players on the bench, right, it's predominantly again under 23. I think massive credit for them. Massive, maybe to Edwin Mika because they've really handled the transfers in the past 2 markets.
They've done well, the transfers. The squad we had there to now, it's like 8 different players, and this is the most confident I've ever been going to Old Trafford. I think I've watched like Arsenal going to Old Trafford maybe 14 times or something like that, and this is the most confident because, for example, the 8-2, which they still show on TV until today. It hurts until today. We went there like we had the likes of Jenkinson. That's not good enough. Recently, there's a time we went there with Welbeck as a striker by himself, but this time around, I know Aubameyang hasn't been firing, but if you talk to United fans, they still tell the United defenders, like, watch out for Aubameyang. He'll still score against us because he usually scores. So this is the most confident I've been. If you can get the Smith Rowe you've seen this season, Martinelli from last week, the 30 minutes he played were unbelievable. The pace, the energy, the quick passing he was getting. Thomas Partey, we need another performance like that. Just don't lose this game. This is not a game you can lose. And if we win this game, we are 8 points ahead of United, and we are going to be in the top 4. When was the last time Arsenal was in the top 4? Listen, if you can beat United, Everton are in a shambles right now. I will not be happy if you don't beat Everton on Monday. We'll also have Southampton at home, Leeds. There's a chance. Let's just say we win all those games, like 15 points. That can easily put you in second, even for a couple of days. We are not going to win the league, but you get the points as early as possible. Because the teams you're going to be competing with are West Ham, Tottenham, Leicester, United. So go as far ahead as you can ahead of them. By January, if you're like 10 points ahead of them, then you're looking good. You can afford to lose a couple of games. So we can't let them win, because if they win, they're right on our shoulders now.
Yeah, I mean, we're just like 4 minutes away from 3 minutes actually away from kickoff. So predictions, I'm still on that 1-2 match, 1-2 Arsenal. Look, guys, I'm gonna say this. Whoever is watching me, you'll watch me in the match reaction. I don't see how we lose this game, and it could be difficult for us to win it. We might need to do things differently from the way we've been doing them. But 2-1, 1-1. For me, the worst thing is 1-1. But if there is anyone to edge the game, should be us. Our problems are scoring goals. That's why I'm not really going for a goals galore. It's an open game, so I think we will concede, despite the fact that we're so good defense-wise. We'll concede. They have the quality at least to score a goal at home against Arsenal, and we have the quality to get 2 past them. Glenn, prediction, and then we go watch the game.
I'm shaking. Why am I shaking? I thought I was confident. I'm going to go. I agree. Usually, this game is usually 2-1 to one team or 2-2.
2-1, 2-0, 0-0, 1-1.
I'm going to go with 2-2, which I'll not be sad with. If you can get a draw here, I mean, it's still Old Trafford, a ground where we've only won 2 times since I started watching football. So I'm going to go for 2-2. I can see us scoring fast, and then I can see them equalizing, and then I can see us getting a second, and then I feel like the last 20 minutes they'll be pressuring us so much, like they usually do.
That's one of the things I love about this game: the dying minutes. I mean, the dying minutes are always very intense.
Ronaldo, Hargreaves, Rooney, they used to get that. So I can see them attacking us for the last 20 minutes and then probably Ronaldo getting a goal. I think Aubameyang and Ronaldo will both score today, though. Let's hope we don't give away silly penalties like we used to in this game.
All right, lads. Let me just take some of your last comments. Malik says Nuno Tavares should be more focused and accurate, please. To make Saka, to me, no Saka should be Pepe and drop Odegaard, bro, as well. Max says we are winning 2-0, right?
They'll score. They'll surely score.
Malik says we should not also allow Manu on area balls. Ronaldo is dangerous. If Arteta win or draw with this lineup, I give him 1 to 3 of the best coach in the Premier League. Wow, I mean, that's too much.
If we can keep a clean sheet in this game, I'll be very confident for this season.
Yeah, definitely. The reason why Lokonga was dropped to me may be the lack of confidence and maybe shaking against Manchester United. Probably. I mean, we'll hear from Mikel at his press conference tomorrow. I'll be very happy to bring you that. Cindy Barry says Arsenal with the win, and then Malik says midfield Partey and Elneny, Osambi, backline Tierney, Tomiyasu, White, and Gabriel to keep watch of Ronaldo's speed. Finally, my keeper, Aaron Ramsey. So, guys, we are not going to take it further than this, but all I'm going to say is let's go watch that game, and we'll be back with a full-time reaction, player ratings, and things will.